The Isle of Wight, a picturesque island located off the southern coast of England, is renowned for its stunning coastal scenery and captivating history. With its mild climate, diverse landscapes and charming towns and villages, it's a favoured destination for holidaymakers. This new travel series showcases some of the island's most beautiful and historic sites, along with some fun family favourites. We'll be taking in several cosy villages with thatched cottages and chocolate box lanes, walking in the past at old mills or picking up treats at the garlic farm, soaking up the history in England's second smallest town, Yarmouth, and trying to devour the biggest fish finger sandwich I've ever tried. We'll chug across the island on the charming steam railway, explore some of the wonderful historic houses in ruins or restored, and take a sunset coastal hike to the Pepper Pot, the only medieval lighthouse surviving in England. These are just a few of the things coming over the next few weeks. The series provides a glimpse into the island's unique charm, encouraging viewers to delve deeper into this enchanting corner of England, its historical gems, less visited locations, along with some popular attractions. So make sure you subscribe to follow along. In this first episode, I'll make my way from Portsmouth to the Isle of Wight by ferry, enjoying a sunny evening departure and sharing a hot tip for a discounted crossing if you're a UK viewer. The pretty Shanklin Old Village will be our base, but we'll explore that in a future episode. We're off to find the only thatched church on the island, catch a boat out to the Needles, and explore the incredible coloured sands at Alum Bay. We'll also head to the island retreat of a famous Victorian poet, Tennyson, and delve into his life on the island that inspired many of his great works. Come along as I get started on a truly delightful adventure around this little island on the southern coast. Welcome to Portsmouth Harbour on the south coast of England. I'll be catching the Wighlink ferry shortly, making the crossing to the island. You can reach the Isle of Wight by car and foot ferry from Portsmouth to Fishbourne, Lymington to Yarmouth, and even from Southampton to East Cowes using red funnel ferries. The Portsmouth route is the easiest if you're coming from the London area. Trains from London Waterloo reach Portsmouth Harbour in an hour and 40 minutes with South Western Railways, and it's just a 10-minute walk from the station to the Wighlink terminal. I'll be making this island adventure on my own this time, as Will had a prior engagement and won't be able to join us. It is a quiet Thursday evening in late September. From Easter to the height of summer, this ferry would be full. I'm just lucky it's late in the season. We've just left dock here at Portsmouth Harbour. It's about a 45-minute trip across to the Isle of Wight. The ferries run roughly every 20-30 minutes. Quite a quiet one this evening, a beautiful evening to be out travelling across the Solent. As we sail away, there is a lovely view of the Spinnaker Tower, which you can climb to view the historic dockyards below. In fact, if your itinerary allows, the dockyards are a lovely day out, where you can visit the Mary Rose, Lord Nelson's HMS Victory from Battle of Trafalgar, or HMS Warrior seen below, amongst many other maritime relics. We also get to see the charming historic buildings in Portsmouth Old Town, the city's original medieval core, a captivating area brimming with historical significance. I'll have to come back and make a video on this area. You can even get to the Isle on a hovercraft. This one, arriving at Southsea, is the world's only year-round scheduled passenger hovercraft service, taking you to Ryde in 10 minutes. It's the only hovercraft service in the UK now, and I'd love to try it one day. If you're travelling on foot to the Isle, then it could be an exciting alternative to the ferry. There is plenty of seating on the vessel, with special areas for your dogs if you've brought them away with you. You can't stay on the car deck during the crossing. Toilets and a cafe will keep you comfortable during the journey. So I used my Tesco's club card points to help me with the cost of the ferry. Every time you shop at Tesco's, you're obviously earning points, and that converts into cash, and they give you vouchers over time. And if you convert them to a voucher partner code, you'll actually get double points. So I had £30 worth of Tesco's club card vouchers, and I converted them into £60 off the cost of the ferry. It still cost me well over £100, and I'll put the pricing up shortly. It is a very expensive ferry, but if you've got the Tesco's club card points, it's a really good way of spending them. The price of the ferry varies due to a number of factors, including season, date and time of travel, and the size of your vehicle. Check this website for details. Well, we're going to dock in a moment, so I'm going to head back to the car and we'll carry on our journey to Shanklin. There we are, we've arrived on the Isle of Wight, and I'll spare you the boring nighttime journey across the island to Alum Bay on the southeastern coast of the island. Shanklin is one of the well-known seaside resorts, and I'll be staying at the Belmont Hotel, an elegant Victorian guest house seen best here the next morning. There was plenty of original Victorian character inside the property, and the single room I had was compact and comfortable for £100 a night with breakfast included. They do a pretty good Eggs Benedict to help you start the day. And with that, it's time to start our first full day on the island. There is so much to see, some of which will split over the next few videos in this series. Our journey this morning will take us on a delightful drive across the Isle of Wight to the dramatic western tip at the Needles, with the coloured sounds of Alum Bay and the lighthouse. We're driving through the fairly modern, if a little tired, high street of Shanklin, with its mix of local shops, tourist-orientated businesses and restaurants. The far more picturesque old Shanklin village, featuring thatched cottages, twinkling lights and a few lively pubs, is a far more charming part of town, and we'll take an evening wander around it in a future episode, visiting the famous Shanklin Chine, a stunning natural gorge carved by a stream over millennia, and listed as the island's oldest tourist attraction. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that little gem. Our route passes through God's Hill, another quaint place we'll explore in depth later in the series. It should be on your trip itinerary, with more thatched cottages, an incredible church atop the village hill, and the most amazing model village. Anyway, back to our drive, and passing Shale, the cloudy weather clears as we arrive at the scenic southwest coastal route to the Needles. Military Road, as it's known, forms a scenic section of the A3055 connecting Shale and Freshwater Bay. Its name originates from its construction around 1860, when it was built purely for military use as part of the island's defence strategy, enabling troops to patrol the coastline. For decades it remained a private track closed to public vehicles, only becoming an official public highway in 1936 after being acquired and reconstructed by the Isle of Wight County Council. You'll find numerous stop-off points and sandy beaches perfect for pausing and admiring the views and capturing photographs or searching the beach for dinosaur fossils present in these parts. Constantly threatened by coastal erosion and landslides, it can lead to the occasional closure. This 11-mile stretch of road offers breathtaking sea views with white chalk cliffs on one side and lush green countryside on the other. It's a favourite amongst cyclists and motoring enthusiasts due to its mix of long, straight sections and winding turns. The Needles Breezer tourist bus also travels along this route between April and November, so if you need to rely on public transport, you can get to see these views in an open-top bus. As we make our way towards Freshwater Bay, be sure to look out for Afton Down, a chalky landmark offering panoramic views of Freshwater Bay, ideal for picnics and leisurely walks. It's just coming up on the right now, you see the car park there. This was our view a few years ago on a much more blustery day, but you get the idea of the stunning views of the coastline and the Freshwater Bay. If the weather is nice, you can always stop here for a picnic, as we've done many times. Nestled at the foot of Tennyson Down in the beautiful Freshwater Bay area, we find St Agnes Church, a truly special place as it holds the distinction of being the only thatched church on the Isle of Wight. The rarity of these churches makes it a particularly significant and charming architectural landmark, attracting attention for its unique construction. The land for this charming church was generously donated by Alum Lord Tennyson, the son of the renowned Victorian poet Albert, who lived nearby at Farringford. We'll be visiting that property later in this video. The church was consecrated on the 12th of August 1908. It was Hallam's wife Audrey who suggested naming the church in honour of St Agnes of Rome, a young girl martyred for her Christian faith. Interestingly, the stone used to build the church came from an old derelict farmhouse on Hook Hill in Freshwater, which was the birthplace of the natural philosopher, architect and polymath Robert Hooke. The architect responsible for the design was Isaac Jones. The church features a simple west elevation with two small lancet windows flanked by buttresses, which contrasts with the more picturesque north facade. The walls have a rough texture and the roof is supported by braced tie beams. A notable feature is the three-arched wooden screen dating from around 1943 to 46, adorned with dedicated carvings of vines and foliage created by the curate T.G. Devitt during World War II. The choir stalls also feature panels densely carved with geometric patterns. The fact that the intricate carvings were done by the curate during wartime suggests a dedication to the church and perhaps a way to contribute to its beauty during a period of global conflict. It is a delightful church and just a 10-minute walk outside of Freshwater Bay, which we'll have an early evening walk around later. Back on the road again, we are just passing through Totland. Some of the roads can be a bit narrow at times. Another pretty cottage on the right as we close in on the Needles and Alum Bay, our main destination this fine morning. There's the Needles Breezer bus I mentioned earlier on the coastal drive. The attractions here at the Needles open at 10 AM and I'm here slightly earlier than that so I can get down to Alum Bay via the chairlift to join the first boat of the day at 10:30. Parking is one fee all day at £6, which always grates on me as we're only staying for around 2 hours. As I wait to pay, you cannot see it, but I'm reading a handwritten note in the window which will change our plans. Good morning. Thank you. Did I see that there's no boats running today?
No.
It's a shame.
It's too windy, but...
Oh, it was running yesterday.
Yeah. But they phoned up and said they're not running any boats today.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's a good start then, isn't it? No boats running. Well, we'll still go down on the cable car. I can't believe that the boats are not running today. That was the whole point of coming to the Needles. You know, this place is a little bit like a tourist theme park, and really for me the only thing that was of interest was going down in the chairlift down to Alum Bay and then onto the boat out to the Needles. But we'll still go down on the chairlift, and then we'll see if there's time later in the weekend to come back and do the boat if they're running. They say it's too windy. I mean, it doesn't feel as windy as yesterday. But anyway, let's head to the chairlift.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Come and stand in the first shelter box pail, face forward.
Thank you. There we are, there's the Needles. Get a very good view of it. It looks nice and sedate at the moment, but we're about to go right off the cliff just ahead of us, and then there is a sheer drop down to Alum Bay. Comes our drop. Ooh. Quite wobbly. Get a good view of the Needles battery up there. A lovely walk along the coast that you can take, and up to the National Trust Needles Battery Centre. It looks so calm out there. I don't see why they can't be running the boats today.
Morning.
Hello.
Are you getting out, going on?
Yep, I'll have a little look.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Just mind your head when I lift the bar.
Alright.
Exit straight there on the
Thank
right-hand
you very
side.
much. Super.
Yeah, job like that, mate.
Thank
you very much.
Thanks. So this little platform here is where the boat would go from to take you out to the Needles. As I say, I will try and get back if I can. Just depends on the time and whether the weather is going to allow it. Alum Bay is particularly renowned for its striking cliffs, which exhibit a vibrant spectrum of multi-hued sands layered in near vertical formation above the underlying white chalk. These distinct colorations are attributed to the presence of various metallic oxides, a geographical timeline laid bare, each layer telling a story of ancient environments and the slow, steady work of oxidization. For generations, folk have been captivated by these hues, even collecting the different coloured sands to create intricate patterns in glass bottles, which you can still do today if you pop into the sand shop near the entrance of the Chairlift. Queen Victoria was presented with a special souvenir made from Alum Bay sand in the mid-1800s, and this royal connection significantly boosted the popularity of these unique creations as keepsakes and mementos of the Isle of Wight. There are 21 shades, and you can fill a bottle with the ones you like or pick from a pre-made keepsake. Walking along the Pebble Beach provides a wonderful vantage point for observing the Needles, the series of iconic chalk stacks that rise imposingly from the adjacent waters. The only other better place without sailing out on the boat would be up on the old and new battery. You would need to park where I have today at the Needles attraction and then walk up. It's a fairly steep 1 mile walk, but very picturesque. There is a Victorian fort perched dramatically on the cliff top with secret tunnels, powerful gun emplacements with stunning panoramic views, perfect for spotting the lighthouse and coastline, and a real sense of history. Something we have enjoyed visiting in the past.
Well, there we are. That's the cable car. We're on our way back up now. The Needle just behind us there.
In 1897, the area around the Chairlift was part of the Royal Needles Hotel, and it was here in December of that year Guglielmo Marconi set up his revolutionary wireless equipment overlooking Alum Bay, which became considered the world's first permanent wireless station. The rides obscure the monument that highlights what was once a fundamental breakthrough in information transmission. The hotel has disappeared, and the significance of the location is lost. For roughly 2.5 years, Marconi and his team conducted extensive experiments from Alum Bay. They successfully exchanged radio messages with a tug in Alum Bay, then with Bournemouth 14 miles distant, Poole 18 miles away, and later with ships up to 40 miles out to sea. These groundbreaking achievements garnered worldwide attention, attracting scientists from various countries to witness the new technology in action. It's also here another lookout spot to the Needles shows why it was such a great place for the wireless station. Rising majestically above Freshwater Bay, Tennyson Down provides spectacular vistas that stretch all the way to the Needles. The area boasts invigorating downland walks along the cliff-top paths. A prominent landmark on the highest point is the granite cross Tennyson Monument. Both the monument and the name of the down link this area's natural beauty to the famous poet who once lived nearby. His former home is our next destination. For those drawn to literary history, a visit to Farringford, the former home of Alfred Lord Tennyson, is a must. Whilst I couldn't tour the interior of the house on this trip, as they are only on a Tuesday and a Thursday, simply walking around the grounds and admiring the exterior of this historic house offered a fascinating glimpse into the life of this celebrated poet. We enter via the lower walled gardens, which still look a treat on this late summer's day. I'll walk straight up to the house as it will help give an overview of Tennyson for those who don't know him. Alfred Lord Tennyson was one of the most celebrated poets of the Victorian era, even serving as Poet Laureate for Britain from 1850 until his death. He moved to Farringford House on the Isle of Wight in 1853 with his wife Emily, seeking a peaceful retreat from the constant attention he received in London. Tennyson found great inspiration in the landscapes surrounding Farringford, including the sea and the downs which we enjoyed from the sky earlier. During his time at Farringford, which became his primary residence in 1856, he wrote some of his most famous works, including Maud and The Charge of the Light Brigade. Farringford also became a hub for intellectual and artistic exchange, with many notable figures of the Victorian era visiting him there. Despite seeking seclusion, the constant attention from tourists eventually led him to build a second home, Aldworth in West Sussex in 1869, although he continued to return to Farringford for the winter months. After he died in 1892, Farringford remained in his family's possession until 1945. In that year it was sold to British Holiday Estates Limited, who converted the house into a hotel. A few of the owners included the travel company Thomas Cook and Sir Fred Pontin, known for his holiday camps. Following its closure as a hotel in 2009, an extensive restoration project commenced with the aim of returning Farringford to its 19th century appearance, reflecting the time when the Tennyson family lived there. It reopened to the public as a historic house and museum in 2017, with the gardens taking 2 years to fully establish. The walled garden is a highlight, a vibrant space brought back to life based on Emily Tennyson's journal and the beautiful watercolours of Helen Allingham, a friend of the family. Alfred himself was an active gardener, often tending to the grounds. It's easy to understand why he found such inspiration in this setting, a place where he could escape the noise of London and connect with the beauty of the Isle of Wight. As I walked the grounds, I could easily picture Tennyson taking his daily walks or writing in the summer house that sadly no longer exists, perhaps finding inspiration for his poetry in the very views we're now admiring. He famously described his garden as careless ordered, a style that embraced nature's beauty without strict formality. This approach is clear in the layout, which feels both natural and thoughtfully designed. The estate's proximity to the sea and the rolling downs, later named in his honour, must have been a constant source of creative energy. If you're ever visiting the Isle of Wight, be sure to allow time to wander the grounds of Farringford. It's a chance to connect with literary history in a truly enchanting setting. Freshwater Bay, which Tennyson would have known so well, is a truly picturesque cove characterised by its stunning white chalk cliffs that dramatically frame the beach. The beach itself is a mix of grey flint and chalk pebbles and sand. At low tide, a sandy area and rock ridge are revealed towards the eastern side, perfect for rock pooling. I came here much later in the day for a late afternoon stroll on the way back to Shanklin. It can be a popular spot to watch the sunset. There are lovely coastal paths as well, allowing you to gain a higher vantage point, and it's from here you can join the Tennyson Trail, a walk towards the monument. There are a few places to eat and drink, and if it's not too busy, it is a great spot to watch the world go by. There are other bays in West Wight, Alum Bay, a shingle and sand beach, or Colwell Bay, which we'll be stopping in shortly. There is a moderately sized car park around 200 metres from the seafront, but I can imagine it does get very busy here in the summer, and there's not much parking around the area. Walking down to the seafront, there are shops on each side of the slipway selling everything from ice creams and snacks to inflatable toys and wetsuits. At the captain's cabin, you can buy a fresh crab sandwich. The tide was in, so the small sandy beach was not visible, but looking right ahead, you can see England and Hurst Castle at the narrowest part of the Solent before it joins the English Channel. Walking along the beachfront, there is a swanky seafood restaurant called The Hut that opens at 12 o'clock each day. If you're making a day of it, you can hire deck chairs or even one of these coloured beach huts for a really traditional English day at the seaside. Let's look ahead at our next video in West Wight. Next time we'll arrive at the beautiful historic harbour town of Yarmouth. Despite its modest size, it presents a captivating history that extends back over a millennium. Its strategic location on the Isle of Wight has made it a witness to significant historical events, and the town is dotted with landmarks that tell tales of its rich past. We'll visit the defensive castle, erected as part of Henry VIII's extensive coastal defence programme, walk the charming streets lined with shops, antique stores and pubs, take a promenade along the Victorian Pier, and try and devour the largest fish finger sandwich ever at the old railway station, now reborn as a wonderful cafe. Harbour walks, old mills and loads of beautiful buildings make this a gorgeous place to visit. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. We'll see you again in the Isle of Wight very soon. Thanks for watching.